Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the West Best Media. Today, we're going to touch on a subject in South Africa from Winnie Mandela to Julius Malema, how the ANC silenced its revolutionaries. South Africa liberation produces both peacemakers and revolutionaries. Winnie Mandela, Stephen Biko, Chris Hani, and today Julius Malema. Each challenge the power from inside or outside the ANC. Their stories ask one question: how did a movement born in resistance end up protecting the system it vowed to dismantle? If you're watching from anywhere across the Africa or in the diaspora, tell us what did your struggle for your liberation mean in your country? Drop your thoughts below and let us connect the history we all share. Now, the ANC balances two incentives: negotiation and confrontation. In the 70s, while the senior leaders were imprisoned or exiled, young activists demanding physical, psychological, and economical freedom. Stephen Biko, the Black Conscious Movement, thought that self worth was the first act of liberation. He warned that if any settlement leaving the economy untouched would merely change the color of the management. Biko died in police custody in 1977, silenced that warning and elevate moderate within the ANC, favored a gradual market-based transmission. Now, I'm going to insert my own personal feelings here. That year that Biko died, I just graduated from high school and entered college at Morgan State. There were demonstrations every day. For many of us in the diaspora, Biko name turned distant headline into a daily ritual of protest and learning. It was my first time, or it was the first time we felt African struggle as our own. By the early 90s, Chris Hanna, the leader of Inkuza Wesliza, the general secretary of the South African Communist Party, represent the revolution wing for true redistribution. He was assassinated April of 1993, removing that figure most capable of holding the negotiation to their promise. Within a year, South Africa gained democracy or democratic, but also an economic settlement that preserved the property and corporate structure. The movement had traded transformation for stability. Inside the new government, Winnie Mandela remained an remind them of an unfinished business. As deputy minister, she clashed with colleagues over the slow pace of reform. In 1995, she was she was dismissed. The ANC executive, including Cyril Ramaphosa, serving as Secretary General, supported the decision to protect the party's image. To many, it was confirmed that outspoken radicals were being purged while compromise became the policy. Decades later, Julius Malema revived the language of the unfinished struggle. As youth leader in the Youth League, he was the president. He called for land exploration, exploitation, exportation, and nationalization of mines. Idea echoed by Biko, Hannah, and Winnie. In 2012, the Ainsley Disciplinary Committee expelled him for bringing the party into dispute. The senior leaders included Cyril Ramaphosa, then the National Executive Committee, supported the action to preserve the unity and discipline. A year later, the Economy Freedom Fighters was formed, turning the youth frustration into an organized political force. His critics call him reckless. His supporters call him consistent. The heir of the liberation promise left on the table in 1994. These voices, they tried to silence Biko, Hannah, Winnie, and now Malema. If you believe these stories still matters, hit the like and share button in this video. Not for the algorithms, but so others remember that the real liberation was meant to be. 30 years later, after democracy, inequity in South Africa remains among the world's highest. Land reform has stalled. Youth unemployment exceeds 50%. Analysts link these outcomes to the decision made when the movement radical current was neutralized. The ANC secured political power but accept the economic order it could not easily change. Each movement dissident, Biko, Hannah, Winnie, Malema, marks a movement when the party choose caution over confrontation. The story of the revolution and compromise has come full circle. The name Unkwanza was Caesar, once the the armed wing of the ANC founded by Nelson Mandela in 1961 has returned under new banner. In 2023, former President Jacob Zuma endorses a breakaway movement called MK Party by invoking the old guerrilla name. Zuma portrayed his faction as the excuse me as the true defender of the liberation mission, accusing the ANC of betrayal. The ANC called it a political theft and challenged the use of the name in court. Yet, KwaZulu-Natal, and other regions, the MK party has already captured significant shares of the vote, splitting the ANC base and reviving the old loyalties. Now, the fear of Julius Malema is the conviction of Julius Malema in 2024 did not just happen in a vacuum. For both Cyril Ramaphosa and Jacob Zuma, Malema represent the unfinished revolution neither could control. Under Ramaphosa, ANC faces the weakest support since 1994, weighed down by corruption and inequality. Prosecuting Malema reinforced the image of authority and discipline, reminding voters who's still in charge or who's still in control of the state. For Zuma, Malema is both a former ally and represent a Vera, once his defender, now his competitor for the revolutionary votes. The MK party revived the symbol of struggle to capture the same anger that fueled the EFF. Both leaders understood that if Malema survived politically, he could become the bridge between the disillusioned poor and the next generation of leaders. Beneath their rival, the system, it appears, united in one to contain Julius Malema before the movement before the movement he lead grow beyond control. From the consciousness of Stephen Biko to Chris Hanna's sacrifice, from Winnie Defiance to Malema challenge and Zuma return to the MK, each generation has reopened the same unfinished debate. Political freedom was won in 1994. Economic freedom remained unfinished. Whether South Africa chooses reform or renewal will decide if the revolution promises are finally fulfilled. This has been the West Best Media documentary, Africa, documenting Africa, political evolve, evolution. Subscribe, share, follow our challenge, our channel as we continue to uncover the stories behind Africa rise from the ground, from the people, from the truth. See you next time in the next video. Peace and love.